narrow, keeping out of sight, where we all blow into new flow. Sunset spinning out, light leaks on the pavement, shadows blacking out, punk rock and pagan, dancing like a kid, stepping on the stage, heart like gasoline. I am neon, black holes in your eyes, hiding for nothing. Symbols in the skies, something is coming. Can't jump off you up, dead man on the dance floor, pulsing through your blood. Get ready for the new grow.
Ape, what's up, guys? So, yeah, everybody was watching APE Coin and that whole shit show. But, it definitely was good for people who run MEV Bots. I hardly understand it, but it's insane the amount of money that they make when things like this happen. They just front run all kinds of trades and transactions. But yeah, we'll get the guys in here. We'll talk about the APE Coin and everything else going on today. What's up, guys?
Yo.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo. So you guys aped in on the coin, yeah?
I did not, sir. Not yet.
No.
I should have at $5.
I know. There's always like that 2 to 3x there pretty quickly if you can time it up right. I guess $4 or $5 entry kind of made a little bit of sense. But yeah, no, way too risky doing that kind of stuff. And do you guys understand the MEV bot stuff when they front run the transactions at all?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So it's like, isn't it something like, I mean, this is all scripting and it's basically botting, but basically somebody sends a purchase order for, let's just say it's $10. They somehow purchase the coin before that for cheaper and then sell it back to them for $10. Is that right? And they're doing this like thousands of times or something. Is that what they're doing?
I don't believe that's MEV.
What are they doing?
To my understanding, what they're basically doing is they're front running the transaction and exploiting it through the exchanges like Uniswap and stuff. They basically wait for a large amount of transactions to be placed in the public, and then calculate the price that would sort of increase on their buy to see if front running is possible, and then they bundle it, like you said, basically doing so they can buy a massive amount at one time and then sell off at the same time.
Yeah, because of slippage, right? So that basically people are saying, I'll buy it at 10. They see that, and then they're able to front run it because they use flash bots, the private RPC or whatever, and they make these huge transactions to buy it cheaper, and then they sell it at that high end, like the higher end because of the slippage stuff. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And they increase those when they do that big buy, they actually increase the price just with their own buy.
With the own buy.
Yeah. So that's what happens.
What kind of money are we talking about that these guys have ready to go? 50 million or something?
It's got to be enough.
It's got to be a lot, right?
Yeah, a ton. Got to be a ton.
Wow.
And I think the Etherscan transactions that people were showing on Twitter don't tell the full story of what's actually happening.
Oh, I would imagine.
Because people are saying this guy spent $40 and made $2 million. That's not how it works. He's playing with a lot more than $40.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that doesn't even make sense.
No, it's not possible.
Okay. Um, yeah, that wouldn't make sense at all. So, I mean, I don't think any of us are planning on buying. I had a mutant, so I had some and I sold it really quickly. But like, I just this kind of stuff is just super risky. I feel like, um, at least right now. Maybe in like a week, it's like, hey, this seems like they're gonna actually do some stuff. Maybe I'll buy it as an altcoin play or something, a longer term play.
I can only see the value of the token really increasing if it was the use case was that it would be only exclusively for the land sale. You couldn't buy it with ETH. You would have to buy it with their token. I could see a run up because of like an announcement like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't really see much of a use case for it in the future, especially since like, so many of these ape holders have been waiting out for this. To me, this was always kind of a sell event ever since I learned about it yesterday. It made sense that like the price would take a really hard dump as soon as those holders were given access to it. And just like a stock dividend, the price of like the floors in the Bored Ape ecosystem kind of reflected the profit that they just made. So they got in, got out, and people that were able to sell walked away with some good money. But if you were buying yesterday a little too late when the token announcement was already priced in, I don't know how well you're doing right now, to be honest.
yeah. It's amazing how many plays there are because like you could have bought a mutant or a kennel earlier yesterday or like right when the news was getting announced for like 16 17 you could have bought a mutant then sold at 22-23. They don't have 10% fees. I think it's 5% total. So you would have made like 3 ETH, let's just call it 2 to 3 ETH. And then you could have also bought Ape Coin today at 4, 5, $6, and then it ran up to 10. So like, there's all these opportunities. It's just they're super high risk and require quite a bit of money. So the guys that have the money to make those kind of plays, they really are at a huge advantage in this Web3 world right now. So
Are literally all the guys that are opening short and long positions on these like coins and tokens, are they international or like all like using VPNs?
I don't
Because
know,
like those
dude.
are the guys that made apparently FTX, like the non-US version of FTX, had allowed you to short at a $30 billion market cap upon opening, which is insane. I can't imagine how much money people made.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Um, those are my thoughts on Ape. Do you want to talk any more about this coin?
I would like to buy it at some point. I mean, if it dips low enough, it just even a few seconds ago got down to like 660. I don't know. I like trying to scalp altcoins. I know it's pretty high risk though. Regardless, the volatility is insane. But yeah, no, man, it's exciting stuff, and I definitely do think that they're going to incorporate it into the land sale and other utilities in their ecosystem. So excited to see it.
So,
When
Aiden had brought up. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to talk market cap, but I think that may have actually been where you're going. But
Yeah, I was go. Yeah, go ahead with that because you had brought that up.
yeah, so whenever I look at these coins and especially when everyone's having like crazy high expectations about this kind of thing, the market cap of the coin for it to really go where people think it could, you know, like a $10 or when it opened at a $20 or $40 wherever it opened, there's no way it can sustain that market cap. I think there's a billion supply, right? There's total supply is a billion. Um, it just doesn't. I mean, at a $20, that's $20 billion in market cap. Um, I don't know. That seems unbelievable to me. I don't see the use case for that because if people aren't transacting in this, there's no reason for it to be that high. Versus if you look at the other top coins, right? Like their market caps are like obviously Ethereum's $336 billion market cap. I can't see a way in which Ape token is like a 20th of that or whatever that number works out to be. Like that doesn't make sense to me personally. Even like Ripple, for example, is like 38 billion dollar market cap. For Ape token to be 20 and it just opened, that I mean, no one's using it in that way yet. So I think it goes lower and then maybe it goes higher if there is that use case that I think we need.
And it just went live on Coinbase like minutes
Yeah.
ago as well.
You just got to
Coinbase
be
been
realistic with your
Oh, this is
targets
gonna
with this
be
thing,
so
right?
interesting to watch that now.
Yep.
Yeah. I just think like being more realistic with targets and maybe being more conservative, especially when you're trying to figure out like, you know, if you enter at $7.50, like where do you exit? Do you exit at 10? Does it even go past like 15? Is that even possible? I think a lot of times people are just like, oh, it'll just keep running and running and going, but the math on the macro sense has to work for that to happen, you know.
You guys saw the one guy that spent $46 to make 2.6 million on that one transaction this morning.
I don't know how that's possible,
Well,
or
that's
if
what
that is
Aiden was
correct. There's
talking
no
about.
way.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
with the MEV
proper.
bot.
Yeah, that's what Aiden had mentioned earlier. Like, there's just no way that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, yeah, I don't see. I mean, maybe he's got like some crazy setup, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crypto Twitter's gassing it up like it was a real TX. I mean, just looking at the Ether scan. I don't know. I know nothing. So, but yeah, either way, dude, crazy morning.
Yeah.
Vince, you sold at a great time. Like you claimed immediately and sold.
I
on the
didn't
initial
even
candle
claim
down.
immediately. I wish I was paying a little more attention and been a few minutes earlier.
Yeah,
As
you
soon
could've
as
sold
I
like
like,
$20 a token.
as soon as I realized what was going on, yeah, I was quick to get out. But anyways, yeah, I'm interested to see. I do think that their land will require Ape Coin to buy. Like it's just like a no brainer. Maybe they would accept ETH and Ape Coin. I don't know. But yeah, we'll be watching it and see what happens here over the next few days with it. I think Aiden, you had brought up also. Do we see more volume in the NFT market from this stuff?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, people like you who just sold out and have 8 ETH to spend or however much, you know, some of the Bored Ape holders have now. I don't know. I feel like that's got to go back somewhere. These guys typically don't. I mean, by and large, most big NFT traders don't like just sitting on a lot of liquid ETH. They'd rather redeploy it. And I feel like some other potential blue chips or blue chips are undervalued, just given the market in general. So I
Yeah.
could see like Clone X taking a bit of a swing. You know, maybe Doodle's taking more of a run. I don't know. I feel like it's totally possible. There is if
Yeah.
with that much money now in the marketplace, right? Like kind of just deployed. I feel like that could totally happen.
Right. That is true. Mitchapalooza says he hasn't seen any DAOs basically do well, and he's just not really seeing it. He's like, sure, my 3 coins of partial ownership of whatever it is. Mutant Cats failed. So yeah, he just is kind of on the side of not sure what the point of having it is. I'm on the same page, man. I've been like actually getting out of NFT market as much as I can, kind of, and holding just a few that I don't know, like my Mutant Ape and stuff. If it's sold, great. But I just think that there's gonna be a time, maybe sooner than later, where you're gonna be able to buy a lot of these things for 10-20% on the current value. So like these kind of pumps right now, like if this does cause some kind of small bull run or something, like I'm gonna use it as opportunity to sell into. I'm gonna sell like my Gary V stuff, my Huxley stuff. Sold some Huxley yesterday, and yeah. So as to what happens, for I could be completely wrong, and we could literally see a 5x on market cap of NFTs. So
Yeah.
anyways,
Vince, you're gonna like this, dude. So the bot that sent that transaction, the $46 for the 2.6 million, he ended up losing almost all of it. Moments after that transaction, he sent another transaction that ended up getting screwed up to a crazy degree. Check this out. I sent it in the chat there, but 946 wrapped Ethereum for 1.5 Ape Coin. So he lost literally all the 2.6 million immediately. He made like $10 total.
I'm so confused. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't understand that stuff at all. But
Crazy.
Okay, cool. The next thing we had was the Goop dudes, and I was calling them the Goof Troop. Honestly, it has nothing to do with the project. I didn't even really look at it. I kind of just am going off things that used to work and what I've learned from like what I've done in the past not working anymore. And so I don't buy a lot of projects. So this is just another one I just didn't buy, even though it could be like created by the best person ever. But go ahead, Aiden. Let's hear the Goop Troop, the Goop
Yeah, so
dudes.
mentioned these yesterday on the podcast and wanted to mention them just as a kind of closure and follow up. So they actually did end up minting out. There was quite a bit of activity late last night. They started to reveal the first 3,000, which was kind of an interesting strategy that I think the community voted on. I thought it wouldn't work, but it actually did. They revealed the first 3,000 that were minted, and then the 5,000 remaining all started to mint as well. Mint cost was 0.05. They ran up to like 0.11, I think, at the highest. Now they're back down to 0.03. So, of course, as a bag holder, I missed that pump. I thought it would go higher, and it did not. But I know some guys in the Discord actually did buy and actually did sell. So, congrats to members that wrote on that one. I think this still has some potential. But again, market conditions like these, projects like these, at this low of a price, it can just go to zero. Obviously, with a mint that sits for that long, there's going to be people who have huge bags that are going to try to unload at every pump. So we're going to have to wait a while till that sell through kind of ends. But I'm holding them. I have 5. I thought, I kind of enjoy them. The art's pretty cool. There were some rare sales yesterday for like 0.2, 0.25, which is kind of interesting on a brand new collection. So yeah, I can see these like out of nowhere being like 0.3. People just forget about them and then they just kind of go. But again, I don't know. Kind of a cool one. Wish it worked out a little better. Would have liked to have exited yesterday. But again, rags are riches with these types of plays.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, obviously not high risk at all, but
Yeah.
yeah. I do like them though. Like I think they're cool. Like 3 months ago,
Totally.
I'd have bought these. I would have minted this. So, Solana is
Yo,
our
yo.
Solana man here.
We here? You
Slumpty
ready?
Dumpty. Okay,
Hey.
let's hear it. Sea shanties I've got here at a 10 soul floor.
Yep. So sea shanties has been around for a little bit. Obviously it's very high soul price, floor price.
Hold
They
on,
actually
is this hold on, I gotta ask. Is this something to do with SpongeBob SquarePants?
not officially, but I mean
Okay,
it looks
okay.
like it, right? It
Yeah.
looks like it. SpongeBob went underground and got
Cool.
into some crime or something. It's like the dark version.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so that's not the topic here really. They're minting a third collection, so they have the sea shanties and the sea shanties pets, both of which do, as you can see, really well. So they're minting out their profile picture collection today. I believe it's a Gen 1. They have plans for a Gen 2. The mint price should be, remembering correctly, 1.87 Solana. It's mostly going to go to whitelist. They did take a snapshot. I don't know if you needed both shanties or pets, or one versus the other, or a combination of both, depending how many tokens you would get. I don't think the price really went down after that snapshot was taken of the 2 prior collections, which is a really good sign. And the real kind of drive behind this project is they're just packed with utility. It's largely in part to staking. They've got a whole mix of token mix. I think they even have more than one token. Right now, the main one is priced at about 56 cents. I don't know how much they get per day, but for a floor as high as it is now, I imagine it's decent enough to fund that. So back to the profile pictures here for a second. I have a picture here. It's in it in admin. Let's see if it loads. They have deflationary traits built in. They have what almost looks like a game built in. I'm not 100% sure. It just kind of says play to earn. And something with with gang members. It kind of looks like there's a lot of lore built into it, and it's a really in-depth system. Moral of the story. Super hyped up. If it makes it to public, I'm absolutely going for these. I might even consider buying in secondary just based off the reputation they have. But that mint is, I believe, at 6 p.m. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it. Looks like there's a lot going on.
Cool. Sounds good. I think the other thing was Project Tengen, which I thought they looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're kind of like a Clone X ripoff, right? They look very similar. Not really too much to say about this one. They just have a really lucrative liquidity pool. They're based almost purely on staking, from what I've seen. And I only came across these really late last night, so I might not be as knowledgeable as the next guy on this. But they had a huge following. I think they had almost 90,000 in their Discord. I forget off the top of my head how many Twitter followers they have. But they said they have millions of dollars to pump into their liquidity pool. And they're actually from the same people that did the Bull Empire project. If you remember, we
Yeah,
went
I
to
saw
those
that.
last time. McKay
did well.
had a nice one off that one. Yep. So by the same people, their floor price hasn't really suffered too much. So they also had a whitelist token go out. If you were a holder of the Bull Empire for, I think it was over 40 days, you actually got to mint Tengen for free, which was awesome for those people. Then whitelist, if you held it, I guess any longer under that, or any less under the 40 days, you got it for 2.88, and then public was 3.88. So that price disparity is a little bit concerning. I kind of think, given the market, given how everything's going, people who got it for free and at a discount are just going to kind of dump it off right at the start. Magic Eden still hasn't loaded, still waiting on that. But I don't hate a buy in secondary here. I think if that liquidity pool and tokenomics are as strong as I've seen, there's definitely money to be made here. But I'm waiting to see what that Magic Eden floor price will wind up being.
Okay. Cool. Project Tengen. One thing that somebody had asked is if I was bearish on Ethereum still. I don't know if I was ever really that bearish other than a couple months ago when everybody I trusted said it would be going down from like 3,500 and I sold a good amount and I was saying that. But after we've seen this dip, it went to like, I don't know, 2,000, 2,100. Like wherever we're at now, I'm buying like long term. Like I would be cost averaging buys. I like it at under 3,000 at the time at where we're at right now. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't say whether I actually feel like it's going to go up or down right now. It's kind of a weird spot, to be honest, with so much going on around the world. So yeah, I would just cost average anything under $3,000. I tell anybody if they ask me, like, just buy every couple weeks and don't even look at the price. So okay, I think we're into like non-NFT, non-Web3 stuff now. I think we're going to talk about the Wave Runner restock. McKay, you here?
Yeah, I mean, so Wave Runner 700s are going to restock for the 5th time since their initial release in 2017 on the 22nd of March. So I guess early next week they'll restock. Retail 300. I'm going to run random size because really like all sizes are still below 400, and I know that local consignment stores can easily move this shoe for $50 to $75 over StockX price, just because this is an iconic 700 model that is really like the foundation of Kanye's 700 model. And so regardless of how many times the shoe restocks in the future, it's a shoe that is pretty safe to buy into, even if margins are small. So yeah, that we'll release on Yeezy Supply, Shopify sites. Probably not going to release on Foot sites, but Adidas confirmed, just the whole Adidas ecosystem. And then kind of a cool cool release that came out of nowhere is these Jordan 1 Chicago reimagined. These were actually leaked really late last year, like late 2021. And then eventually now we're seeing more and more factory images. The rumor is a release in October of 2022, but all of these releases that we've been seeing on Nike, we'll see like rumors, then some sort of official image is loaded, and then a release a month or two later, usually that same quarter. But just the way things are moving with the supply chain issues, like globally, obviously Nike's production line has been just as affected as any other company. And I think this is a shoe that was more realistically going to release in November or December of this year. But obviously, like, this is probably a $500 shoe out of the gate because it's just a classic retro 85 Jordan red model. So yeah.
Are you personaling those?
Yeah, that's a personal, 100%. My concern though is the quality, because I'd assume that the
no.
quantity is going to be just like the Brotherhoods or just like any of these recent releases, which are terrible.
Yeah.
Do you think this is like an attempt to kind of resurge Jordan 1 hype? That's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like it's definitely gone down a little bit with all these kind of crappy colorways, but then they just released the best one.
Yeah, why are they doing? Why have they done such bad colorways? Like, I don't understand. Do they think they're good?
And then there was a time when people would just kind of buy anything, right?
That's true.
And that's was like right before we saw shoes really kind of go downhill a few months ago. And then we see all these good colorways come out now, and it's back to life almost.
They need to do like the shattered backboards again, or like, yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, Nike, if you're listening, please, I really want those.
And some UNCs.
Dude, I'm buying these reimagines for sure. I've wanted this color forever. These are really awesome.
Yeah, I think everyone needs a pair of these. Dennis, I do not need buff balance. Thank you though. Cool. Is there anything else we want to talk about today? I don't think anything's on my radar, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Ape Token was the big one.
Yeah. If you guys, I don't think anybody in our group actually got those Gary V trading cards, but those mooned the past 24 hours. So just another resale opportunity that we had posted about, but kind of difficult to enter on that, I guess you could say. Ape Token, let's just briefly see what it's doing since Coinbase had added it. $7.94. So
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining, guys.